Pueblo, pueblo, pueblo tú, pueblo yo. Canta tu canción. I came to the Paula Fiscal show to talk and listen. Here are the morals, yeah. We are one city, one body looking to be free and live with dignity. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo. Canta tu canción. Pueblo, pueblo, people, my people, yeah. Canta tu canción. Tell your story, sing your song. Come along, yeah, now. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo, pueblo tú, pueblo yo. All together in one voice. Canta tu canción.
Thank you so much for joining us. You have just heard Francisco Herrera, who is a candidate for District 11, and he has been a regular guest on my show. Once again, thank you for joining in to see this show, and it airs on Channel 29 on Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m. We also upload to YouTube. So please, you may also send us your tweets, and you can give us a response to any of our shows at any time at the Paula Fiscal Show at gmail.com. Today we're going to go ahead and begin the interview process for Francisco because he has officially become a candidate for District 11.
Yes.
And so we want to ask him a few questions that he can probably answer for us. Francisco, you ran for mayor in the general San Francisco City and County election in 2015. What were the results of that election?
Well, as you know, Paula, we have ranked choice voting. So just in number one votes alone, we got 28,300 and some votes citywide. When you count in the ranked choice voting, which is the ones and the twos, it was a total of over 55,000 votes, which made me the runner-up to the candidate that was the ¿cómo se le dice? The re-election, right? The
re-election.
Incumbent.
The incumbent was, of course,
Ed
Lee.
Ed Lee with $1.5 million. And no, we had a very successful campaign of moving grassroots with people, and it produced 55,000 votes altogether.
And do you believe that this is going to be then your advantage over other candidates that are running in District 11?
You know, more than numbers, I think the advantage is I've been working in these communities, particularly Excelsior, Mission, North Beach, some of the other communities for over almost 30 years. And the advantage is with these volunteers, well, over 300 people volunteered in one way or another that helped us. And what matters is really that we've gone door to door with families, with neighborhoods, with small businesses, and our effort is to have a real felt impact in the policies. So make policies that really respond directly to the needs and the vision that working families have for San Francisco. What is the city that we want? What is the city that we love?
And that was going to be my next question. Why would someone want to vote for you as one of the one or two or third choices over any other candidate?
Too long we've had a process, a political process where small groups are kind of deciding the fate for everybody else, and what has resulted really is we're at the verge of being all evicted from San Francisco. 60% of firefighters can't even live in San Francisco. And what has happened is that small groups of people have been communicating and voting. So, for example, in this election for the mayor, out of almost 1 million people, Paula, only 200 and some thousand people voted. So our effort is really to go out there again, directly to people's homes, talk with them, get the real sense, and get a respectful engagement, and have people really not just feel that they're being heard, but experience that they really are being heard, that we really are having an impact. In fact, we really already have, because our campaign, together with the others, won the 1, 2, 3, and all the other 5 candidates, brought Mayor Lee down to basically he crawled in the bathroom window. So no mandate. It created a new structure of power in the supervisors, and we were able to defeat the mayor's attempt to create a new jail, when in fact what we need is educational support for our kids, is retraining for people who've been laid off, is really a healthy city, and housing solutions for our families.
Well, let's go back to your volunteer group. On your Facebook page, I saw a picture of you and your volunteers, and there were almost 100 people there. And this is an organization and a group that had supported you for mayor. So you've already begun to meet with your volunteers?
We have already begun to meet from the very start when we launched the campaign, and that's why I said I'm not running for mayor, I'm walking for mayor, is because our point was to set off the beginning of a citywide alliance that where we can work together as a city to say what kind of city do we want. And so we've had volunteers from North Beach, from Chinatown, from the Richmond district, from obviously from San Francisco State, a bunch of students, District 7, from District 1, I meant to say the Sunset, District 4, from Bayview, from Hunters Point, from obviously Excelsior here, and from the Mission, of course. We had tremendous support from these areas, including the Hayden-Ashbury, including the Twin Peaks area. So we've had volunteers from throughout the city.
Talk some more about the 1, 2, 3 strategy that you used, and who were the other people?
Yeah, in the campaign for mayor, there was 5 candidates apart from the incumbent, and 3 of us had conversations where we said, look, you don't clean a house by throwing mud, and we really need to clean this house of ours, San Francisco. Are we willing to work in alliance? Obviously, each of us is going to run our campaign. Well, Stuart Schufman was very clear from the start that his was a protest run.
Broadcast Stewart was his nickname.
Broadcast Stewart, yeah. And that he was doing a protest run, that he was actually going to be promoting very important issues. Amy Wise was the other candidate. She was in it to win it, as was yours truly here in it to win it. And all 3 of us, we agreed was that we would form an alliance of really looking at what was happening with corruption, what was happening with the inaffordability and the lack of access to basic issues in the city, as is the right to housing. And so in that process, each of us has worked in different parts of the city, different parts of the communities, different issues. And so we agreed to push those messages in a very important way, in a very effective way. And it worked out very good.
And are we going to be seeing Amy and Broadcast Stewart also running for supervisor?
No, uh, Broadcast is doing some very good comedic work and writing. He still writes for the Examiner. He's doing some wonderful informational work. He and Amy did a fabulous work with the homeless coalition to end homelessness. And during the Super Bowl week, they had a tremendous presentation with thousands of people who walked for resolving the issue of homelessness. And we all participated in many ways, but Stuart kind of took lead on that. Amy has been taking lead on issues of small sites acquisitions and tiny homes and issues that respond directly to people living in the streets and other areas. And I've been working with several communities that are facing eviction to actually stop evictions, as a family of Pastor Dorn in the Bayview and as Midtown communities that have been working for years. They were promised their land, and they're working. They've acquired. They paid all their mortgages, and now they need the city to comply, give them their title. I worked in Excelsior with families on London Street, off of France, and other families to stop evictions of these from their homes.
So then, would you say that one of the most important issues in San Francisco for residents that will be voting in the District 11 supervisorial race is one of the most important issues?
Yes, affordable access to homes, access to housing, and really livability in the area of transit. I think another issue that's very, very strong for people is, okay, homeowners continually, when you have a house, you want to fix it. And there's such an entanglement that happens at the permit department, which is going to be, I think, a very important piece that we need to address. But health, I think, is not just getting medicine, and it's an important issue in the sense of reliability, in the sense of accountability of the police, the tragic execution of Mario Woods and other folks, the case that Ms. Paulette Brown, in issues of investigating on murders of the children that they've known, getting the police to move on investigation as well as accountability on how they respond to the issues of safety and security, Paula.
I believe that there was an article in the newspaper recently talking about those same 28 murders that were not investigated in San Francisco, and this was in one of the newspapers. Maybe it was by Stewart, but I think it was by another writer, Monet Shaw, who spends a lot of time tracking the criminal justice system and also the transportation system.
Yes.
So that means that in San Francisco, we have an opportunity to elect someone that is going to focus on some of those issues and will also, of course, take up the rest of the cities and the issues throughout the city. Because once you get elected to one district, it doesn't mean you work like an island. You work with everyone. You work with everybody in the whole city.
Yes, as a city, we have to be thinking municipally as all the city, not just my neighborhood, but we also need to be thinking regionally, because things like BART are a regional issue, and we live in a very privileged time that communication is more accessible, and we have a wonderful city and a wonderful region filled with people who really want to make a difference, who really want to participate, whether they have papers, no papers, residency, or citizens. They pay taxes, we pay taxes, and we want to participate. We are communities that care for this city, that care for this region, and we want to express that love in participation. What hasn't happened is the process of information gathering and the distribution of information. For too long, politicians have behaved like those old-time doctors that says, "Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Gonzalez, I'll take care of it. Take this pill, I'll just take care of it." And citizens are saying, no more of that. We want to participate. We own this home. We rent this home. our kids go to school here. We want to participate. We want to have an impact, a positive impact. We want San Francisco for working families.
So we are talking right now with Francisco Herrera, who is a candidate for District 11 Supervisor. Do you have a contact number or a website already set up?
Yes, we have. We're working on the website, but we have a contact number. It's 415-240-1697. 415-240-1697. We do have a Facebook, Francisco for Supervisor, and we are working now on our website. But what was beautiful that came out of the mayor's campaign is the development of the peoplescampaign.net, and that conversation of the wisdom of our neighborhoods has continued through that page, peoplescampaign.net. And through that network, which is an alliance, our platform of 10 points has been developed, and we continue to work through that.
The next thing I thought I was going to hear you say was read our book.
No, but you can buy our CD called Honor Migrante.
That's right.
We have, well, I've produced 7 CDs. 2 of them are children's CDs, Canta y Juega and Francisco los Niños, and then 5 other CDs that deal with the life and contribution of working people in our society. And they're very fun songs. So you can go to franciscoherreramusic.com and download the music from there.
Let's talk a bit about the ranked choice voting.
Yeah.
And we will have someone on the show that's going to explain it. For example, if I get to the polls and I say, well, I only want to vote for one person, what happens to the other 2 votes?
Well, the other 2 votes basically get this thrown on the trash, really. So it really, your vote is more effective if you do have another candidate or even a third candidate. It really is more effective. Ranked choice voting, apart from saving a lot of money because you don't have a very expensive follow-up runoff or rematch, it really gives more power to the electorate. You know, we are in a society here. I remember being in 8th grade where they talked to us about representative democracy, and I thought, oh, we don't really have direct democracy here, you know. And I was so sad that day in civics class in 8th grade in the 60s or early 70s it was. And ranked choice voting really goes a step forward where we really do have more representation, and the leadership continually has made this very wrong mistake to say, oh, the electorate, people don't know enough, or we have to learn that our people have wisdom. What we have to do is harness it. I mean, how many of our mothers didn't work 2 or 3 jobs to get to college, to get us to be able to do the things that we wanted to do? How many of us aren't regularly building, strategizing ways that our families can move forward, supporting our own relatives, supporting our relatives in other countries if we have relatives in other countries? So look, just a small example. The Social Security has a fund, Paula. It's called the suspended file. All the money from every pay stub where the name doesn't fit the Social Security number goes to the suspended file. That file, and so basically that's where all the undocumented who pay taxes, that's where the money goes, in the Social Security. Just 2 years ago, that file had $56 billion. There's over $1 trillion since the 70s when that file was created that where undocumented are supporting the Social Security Administration. Us, all of us. It's a small example. I touch on undocumented, but it's a small example of how people who make up this city, whether papers or no, are continually contributing, continually asking the question, how can I help? It's our job as leaders or as to respond and to ask the questions and be engaged in a regular way. I plan as supervisor to have an office in the Excelsior where people can come in regularly and bring issues, complaints, ideas, and we can work together.
Once again, we are here discussing his candidacy for District 11 Supervisor, Francisco Herrera. For those of you that are watching, If you have any questions, you can direct questions at paulafiscal@gmail.com. We will be having the other candidates also on the show, and perhaps even do a panel discussion. It could be billed as a debate.
Yes.
But thank you so much for joining us. We're going to close now with another song by Francisco Herrera, and if you're interested in his CD, please just give us a call, and we'll have that CD available for you. Thank you for watching the Paula Fiscal Show, and stay informed.
Pueblo, pueblo, people, my people, yeah. Canta tu canción, tell your story, sing your song, come along, yeah now. Pueblo, pueblo, pueblo tú, pueblo yo, all together in one voice. Canta tu canción. Pueblo, pueblo, pueblo tú, pueblo yo. Canta tu canción. I came to the Paula Fiscal Show to talk and listen, hear how the ball rolls, yeah. We are one city, one body, looking to be free and live with dignity. Pueblo, pueblo, canta tu canción.